We are the atmosphere. We are the voice. We are the energy. We are the noise. We are the kingdom. We are the vibe. We are the 12th man at Arrowhead Drive.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. I am your host, Kevin Britton, bringing you all your Chiefs content every Sunday and every Wednesday right here on Stadium Drive Sports. So today we're going to be doing a mock draft, and what my kind of premise coming into this mock draft was kind of coming with a little bit of a Brett Veach approach and trying to get into certain pockets of the draft. If you guys have ever heard Veach talk about the draft, he always tried to find those pockets. So little spans of like 10 to 15 picks where he likes the prospects that kind of fall within that range. And he likes to be able to get into those pockets to be able to make his selection. So that's kind of the approach that we're going to be taking with today's mock draft. So we'll hop right into this mock draft for you guys right after this.
We won't help you with your hairline, but we will help you win your fantasy league. Want to take home the prize and the pride in your fantasy football league? Don't worry, we got you covered. Tune in to Fantasize This right here on Stadium Drive Sports.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop right into it here today. So, in this mock draft, the Kansas City Chiefs are not trading up. We are staying put with pick number 29 in the first round. And with that pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select David Ojabo, defensive end out of Michigan. Ojabo tore his Achilles at his pro day, and he'll likely miss the entire 2022 season. Now, prior to the injury, he was considered top 5 at his position and was expected to be a top 15 to top 20 draft selection. Now, due to the injury, he likely is going to fall in the draft. It's just a matter of how far does he fall. And in this case, he fell to 29, and the Kansas City Chiefs went ahead and made that selection. Now, his future upside is still tremendous even after the injury. He's an extremely athletic defensive end. He has a great combination of power, speed, and length. And he should be a fixture on the defensive line for many years to come. Now, some other players that were considered with this selection, a pair of Penn State guys, defensive end Arnold Ebiketie and safety Jaquan Brisker. Also, cornerback Roger McCreary out of Auburn, and wide receiver Christian Watson out of North Dakota State. That takes us to our second pick in the first round, pick number 30, and we have a trade alert. So we are moving out of pick number 30, and we are making a trade with the Atlanta Falcons. So we are giving Atlanta pick number 30, as well as a pair of 7th rounders, pick number 233 and 243. The Chiefs are going to be falling back from pick 30 to pick number 58 in the second round, as well as acquiring 3rd round pick number 82 and 4th round 114. In case you were curious, Atlanta moved up to this pick to select Breece Hall at running back. So that is going to move the Chiefs to their next pick, which is in the second round, pick number 50. And with that pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Boye Mafe, defensive end out of Minnesota. I know I have mocked Boye Mafe to the Chiefs in the past. I think it's just a very good fit, and he's one player that we're able to get value at this selection. Now, some other people that I did consider here, cornerback Kyler Gordon out of Washington, defensive tackle Logan Hall out of Houston, defensive end Myjai Sanders out of Cincinnati, and linebacker Chad Muma from Wyoming. All right, moving right along. Pick number 58, the pick that we got from Atlanta here in the second round. The Kansas City Chiefs select Alec Pierce, wide receiver out of Cincinnati. Now, Pierce is an explosive athlete with good speed and ball tracking skills. He can create some separation, but also is comfortable making the contested catches as well. And with that combination of size and speed that Pierce has, he should transition to a traditional X receiver role in the NFL. Perfect fit for what the Chiefs are looking for right now, and still allows them to continue to get size and speed mixed together. Now, some other players that I did consider at this position: offensive tackle Daniel Falalele from Minnesota, and wide receiver Sky Moore out of Western Michigan. Next in the second round, pick number 62, the Kansas City Chiefs select Nick Cross, safety out of Maryland. Now, Cross has a great combination of size, length, and speed. His reaction time when the ball's in the air, it's top notch. He's quick to react and close on the ball, and with his length, he's able to make plays on the ball that really didn't seem possible when it left the quarterback's hand. There were a few other players considered here. Wide receiver Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. Safety Jalen Petrie out of Baylor. Defensive end Cam Thomas out of San Diego State. And linebacker Brandon Smith out of Penn State. And that's going to move us into the third round, where we now have 3 selections, courtesy of the trade with Atlanta. And we are staying in Cincinnati, going with Kobe Bryant, cornerback out of Cincinnati. Now, Bryant's displayed amazing understanding of route concepts and utilizes this to effectively pass off receivers in zone coverage, but he also understands where the design of plays are meant to go, which allows him to quickly break on passes and really anticipate them. And he has shown good fluid hip movement, which should allow him to be effective in man coverage at the next level as well. So third round cornerback, that is earlier than and more capital than we've given up for anybody that we've had on the roster in quite some time, since Marcus Peters, really. Some other options at this pick were offensive tackle Nicholas Petit-Freer out of Ohio State and defensive end Nick Benito out of Oklahoma. Now let's move into pick number 94, still in the third round. And because of what was available, really led me to this pick. And I went with James Cook, running back out of Georgia. Now, Cook's a pure speed runner and excels in the passing game. He can align in the backfield. He can go in motion. He can line up in the slot. He can even line up outside at times if you need him to. He has great route running ability for a running back and displayed soft hands this past season as well in Georgia. Now, he may not run over defenders. He's not a big, powerful guy, but he'll certainly run past them and then run away from them. He's a home run play just waiting to happen. Other players that were considered here, again, I felt like it was kind of slim picking with value at this pick. Linebacker Damone Clark out of LSU and defensive tackle Zachary Carter out of Florida. Now, with our last pick in the third round, pick number 103, Kansas City Chiefs select Khalil Shakir, wide receiver out of Boise State. So Shakir, he's quick with his acceleration, and it allows him to be able to not only get off the line quickly, but get out of his cuts quickly as well. He's got good twitch, and he has good hip sync ability as well, which makes him a nightmare coming out of those cuts and getting into the open field. He can create separation and utilize his quick acceleration and gain plenty of yards after the catch, which that is what an Andy Reid offense is built around, is that yak, those yards after catch for receivers. A couple other players that were considered here, wide receiver Eric Azukanma, who was one of the players that the Chiefs brought in on their top 30 visits, as well as linebacker Channing Tindall out of Georgia. So that wraps up day 2 of the draft. Now, because of that trade we made earlier with the Falcons, we do have 3 picks in the 4th round as well. And we'll take a look at those picks right after this.
Welcome, Royals Empire. You now have an informative, interactive show made right here in Kansas City and made just for the Royals fans. Hosted by me, Sean Barr. Let me take you down the Royal way as you indulge yourself with some great Royals coverage along with coverage around the league. Plus a variety of fun segments. Might even learn a thing or two, even for the avid fan. Come join me. This is the Royal Way, only here on Stadium Drive Sports.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop into this 4th round. Again, we have 3 picks in the 4th round, courtesy of the trade with the Atlanta Falcons. The first pick in the 4th round is pick number 114, which is the pick that we got from Atlanta. And with that pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Jake Ferguson, tight end out of Wisconsin. Ferguson has some straight line explosiveness and can fight through contact, which should allow him to win up the seam in the NFL. He's also a very solid blocker in all aspects and all phases of the game. He doesn't have great twitch or quickness, but he should be a solid and a well-rounded tight end in the league. Some other players that were considered here: offensive tackle Darian Kennard out of Kentucky, and cornerback Mario Goodrich out of Clemson. With our second pick in the 4th round, pick number 121, the Kansas City Chiefs select JoJo Domann, linebacker out of Nebraska. Now, Domann can play sideline to sideline. His athleticism and his hustle allows him to cover in the short and intermediate areas of the field. He also has quick acceleration, which really allows him to be able to be effective on blitzes when his number is called there as well. Some other players considered here: offensive tackle Braxton Jones out of Southern Utah, and wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson out of Kentucky. All right, last pick in the 4th round, pick number 135. We stuck with previous pick I made in another mock and went with Zach Tom, offensive tackle out of Wake Forest. Tom has good lateral quickness, loose hips, which allows him to mirror the defensive lineman, and he's able to stay attached to blocks through contact as well. Tom also has great timing at the snap, which allows him to quickly get back to his anchor point and be set. Some other players that were considered here were safety Smoke Monday out of Michigan State and defensive tackle John Ridgway out of Arkansas. That will move us to the 7th round, pick number 251. And we stuck with the Wake Forest prospects here and went with Nasir Greer, safety out of Wake Forest. Greer is able to man up on receivers and get an effective jam on them at the line. He also has loose enough hips to be able to turn and run in man coverage with them. He can transition from coverage to closing on the ball as well, which helps him not only if he's playing slot or outside, but also from that safety position. And he's displayed strong hands and quick reactions when the ball's in the air, making a play on the ball. There were really no other players that I gave any consideration at this point. I feel like once you get to the 7th round, it's kind of, you have your eyes on a guy and that's who you take. There's not a whole lot of upside in the 7th round. But with the final pick, I think we've definitely found some upside here at pick number 259. We selected Jermaine Waller, cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Now, Waller's effective when he gets his hands on receivers at the line, and he's able to stay in phase with them down the field. And he's shown great ability for getting his hands on the ball. He's displayed a strong ability for playing the ball at its catch point as well and disrupting the receivers, as well as making plays on the ball himself. Again, no other players considered. I feel like that was a perfect fit for the Kansas City Chiefs with that pick in the 7th round. So let's do a quick recap here for you guys and run back through this. So first round, pick 29, we took defensive end David Ajabo. Second round pick 50, defensive end Boye Mafe. Second round pick 58, wide receiver Alec Pierce. Second round pick 62, safety Nick Cross. Third round pick 82, cornerback Kobe Bryant. Third round pick 94, running back James Cook. Third round pick 103, wide receiver Shalil Shakir. Fourth round pick 114, tight end Jake Ferguson. Fourth round pick 121, linebacker JoJo Doman. Fourth round pick 135, offensive tackle Zach Tom. Seventh round pick 251, safety Nasir Greer. And seventh round pick 259, cornerback Jermaine Waller. So I would be very happy if this is the haul that the Chiefs came away with in the upcoming draft. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys like this draft as well. And if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. And if you guys like the content, like the video. We'd appreciate it very much. Again, appreciate you guys tuning into the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. My name's Kevin Britton. Till next time.